Run, bringing you another interview today. We have Mr. Bill Nissen from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Bill, you are a pastor out there, correct?
Yeah, I am. I'm pastor of a small fellowship here in Cedar Rapids. Been in full-time ministry for over 25 years now.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. How did you get involved with Visalis, being a pastor?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story because I was very negative against network marketing back in the 90s. In fact, I set up policies at my church to discourage people from doing it because from my perspective at that time, I thought they were turning friends into prospects and bugging people. And a friend of mine, who's an evangelist, introduced me to the concept in 2003, and I was not very friendly about it. But he very wisely handled it, and we went back and forth about scripture and perspectives, and after 7 months I realized he was right, that network marketing isn't what I was calling it. Basically what I was offended by was the ethics of the people that were doing it. But the business model itself is biblical. It's Luke 10 and 2 Timothy 2:2. So I took action on it and got involved in Visalis in 2008 before we even started the challenge. And it just exploded as soon as we launched the challenge, to the point where I think in like 20 months after we launched the challenge, we were doing over $2 million of revenue a month, which allowed me to be able to bless and mentor a lot of people into financial freedom as well as health, to the point where I've been able now to pastor for free. I'm able to give the salary back to the church and just live off of this, and free me up to be able to just serve the church without any encumbrance for finances at all. So it's been a huge blessing.
That is fantastic that you're able to do that, and the ways that you're able to, because of Visalis, also go back and then help the people within your congregation and be able to bless them, because you are able to make money with it, and then to be able to keep the church's money within the church.
Right.
That's very admirable that you have chosen to do that. So thank you for setting an example to all of us. Was selfless. So there is this little thing floating around called the Faith and Fitness Initiative. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
Little thing. It's become a pretty big thing. And
can you explain exactly what that is? Because I'm willing to bet most people have no idea exactly what it is.
Oh, I'll be glad to. I really was privileged to be able to co-found this along with Pastor Steve Willis back in August of 2010. Pastor Steve is the pastor of First Baptist Church in Canova, West Virginia. He got a lot of media visibility back then because he was really addressing the health issues in Huntington, West Virginia. And the Center of Disease Control came out with a report saying the most overweight, unhealthiest city in the nation was Huntington, West Virginia. And so, you know, Jamie Oliver's Food Revolution came to town. He's been on Good Morning America and all these different shows. And one of the things he was crying out for was, we need non-perishable protein sources. They're just not available in the food banks. That's when we made a connection. And so Steve and I co-founded the Visalis Faith and Fitness Initiative, August 2010, when we were meeting in Orlando. And so we've launched it to the point where we have over 400 charities and churches involved in this. And along with the ViCares Community Challenge, we've seen over 5 million meals raised thus far. But here's the story that really excites me is we focused in on Huntington, West Virginia, because they have that moniker of being the most unhealthy city in the nation. So through Visalis, we took all these massive donations in, to the point that we broke the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest donation in one day of baked goods ever in history, just in their food bank. I think it's over $1.5 million worth of baked goods, the Nutri cookies.
That's amazing.
And just a few months later, the Center of Disease Control came out with a new report. You know, they report the unhealthiest cities. And as far as I know, the reports have always had every city growing in their obesity rate, until just recently. They had one city that reversed their obesity rate. I think it was by 7 or 8%, from 46% down to 38%. And it was Huntington, West Virginia.
That's impressive.
So here's what we know. And this is one of the reasons why we do Project 10, is we want to get better food in the food banks. Because what we know is part of the problem with obesity and health in the cities is what we're feeding the poor. And secondly, we now know this works and makes it happen. So that's kind of the driving force of the vision. But basically what Faith and Fitness is Visalis is offering churches that are 501c3 churches a free website where most churches will just take up normal offerings. They might take up, a few times a year an offering to raise money for donations for the local food bank. Well, what we're doing is saying, we'll give you this free website. You take up your donations, collect them all. Then instead of just going out and buying all these carbs and unhealthy foods, put them through the website for a $24 donation. We're going to, which is 30 meals. We're going to match those 30 meals. And so for less than 50 cents a meal, we're donating to the food bank of their choice, but then also giving that church a royalty, which fits in within the IRS statutes, a royalty or a cash royalty that they can use for youth groups, missions, however they want to use it, or for more meals. So basically, that's the main drive for Faith and Fitness. We've got support groups in churches that will use the products for the challenge too, but the main driving force is feeding those in need.
That's awesome. So
we're finding a fundraising program for churches.
Right.
Instead of selling chocolate bars, magazines, and candy, we're selling feeding kids in need. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, and what a great way to be able to pay it back to the community, which is what obviously churches, it's always about how much service can you give and what can you do for those around you. So it kind of sounds like you've taken ViCares and then meshed it with the church to really be able to kind of maximize what it is that we're doing, maximize the donations. Is that a good summary, I guess?
Absolutely right. In fact, the thing that's exciting about it is if we can maximize the donation, say if it's over $2,500 of donation money, and if you know the compensation system, on the product side, then we're able to give a full donation to the church, which would literally make this not a profit-making venture whatsoever. It's fully giving all the profit to the church. So this is something that truly is a selfless venture on Visalis' part. Ryan's heart in this was to really be selfless, to really serve those that are feeding those in need. And it's been my privilege to be able to help spearhead this for the last few years.
It's absolutely amazing what our co-founders have done for our company and how they've really helped to create that culture of giving back and of helping people find ways to be able to do that. And so I thank you and applaud you for setting up Faith and Fitness and being an example to all of us and how we can, within our groups, within our churches, be able to take it a step further and really be able to maximize what we're doing. Because as we all know, with Project 10, we're trying to make an impact on our kids anyways. And now combining that with the Faith and Fitness and with ViCares, we're able to reach, it sounds like a lot more people. And then, like you said, in Huntington, West Virginia, being able to see that much of a decrease in obesity rates, I mean, that is statistically very relevant for the mission that we are trying to accomplish. So
yeah, it's been a great fit for me. I mean, it's been an answer to prayer because wanting to self-fund my ministry, finding a business that is as lucrative as this is, but it's also congruent with my ethics as a believer, as a Christian, and then also being able to feed the poor, feed those in need at the exact same time, that is an absolute win-win. I mean, there's no weak point to this thing. It allows me to be vocal about it. If it was just about making money, I wouldn't have done it. I have to have a cause behind it that's congruent with my passion and my drive. And Jesus told us we need to take care of the poor and the afflicted and the stranger. We get to do that in the same context as providing for our families. Where do you find that? I haven't found it anywhere but here. And so this has been a profound blessing on many levels. So it's just a delight, and I enjoy working with people like you all over this whole culture we call Visalis to bless those around us with better health. It's improved my health. I've lost over 80 pounds, and I haven't felt as good even when I was younger. And so we got better health, better finances, and better outreaches to our community. It's just an incredibly brilliant business model, and I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Well, and I thank you so much for sharing it with us, and hope that everybody that's watching this is encouraged and motivated to take it a step further and really find out what can they do personally to reach out to those in need, whether through ViSalus or not, but being able to say, hey, what can I do, whether donating through ViCares, donating through whatever, to really help make that impact. So thank you so much for coming on with me today and and sharing this with us. So like I said, hopefully more people will be able to take it and to kind of run with it and see how many more lives we can impact through our churches and through the Faith and Fitness Initiative. So thank you, Bill, very much.
You bet. I have a link that we can send people to, so if you want more detail on it. Pastor Steve and I recorded a webinar several months ago at faithfit.info, faithfit.info. They can just go there, and they'll answer most of their questions.
Okay, perfect. I will make sure that link is attached when we post this out on Sunday morning. So, Bill, thank you so much again. Everybody, check back tomorrow for another interview. Thank you so much.
Bless you, Tracy.